Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Deer Talk Now podcast. I am Chris Behrens, and we are here today with Heath Wood. Heath does a lot of freelance writing for us, whether it's for the Trapper Predator Caller or the Trapper Now, and as well for Deer and Deer Hunting Magazine. And today, our subject is going to be backpack hunting or packs for hunting, and a lot of what that involves. So, Heath, first, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on the podcast. And why don't you give us a little bit of background of your hunting background?
I appreciate you guys having me. No, I'm from southern Missouri. I've been deer hunting since I was 12, 13-year-old, like every country boy in a small town. Then when I was in high school, I started the outdoor page in our high school newspaper. And I started writing about hunting and turkeys because that's obviously what I thought about all the time, so why not try to get it in everything? Then after high school, I just kept pursuing and started writing a little bit, and I worked with a couple hunting companies, went on a rider hunt with them and got to talking and kind of went a different route and started writing more than I was just focused on one company.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing now for the last 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
The last 6 or 7 years, it's really picked up a lot for me. I'm very blessed and thankful to have that.
Nice. It's funny, like as writing, editing, and all that. It's kind of, we're all so different, but it's funny how similar so many of our stories are. Like, oh man, that's all I used to think about as kids, and I would write stories and tried to start a little page. Same thing with me for school, and then into college, and after, and here we are. It's worked out.
Yeah. And my art teacher when I was in high school used to say, like, every project she did, I would always make a turkey or a deer.
Yeah.
Even the clay sculptures, we were supposed to make a bowl or something. I made a full strut turkey.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's been born into me, I guess, my whole life.
Yeah, I had an English teacher say that too. She's like, don't you ever want to write about anything else, maybe about other sports? Or I was like, actually, no, not really.
Good. Yeah, so that's what's kind of cool, that it's not my full-time job, but it's something I enjoy all the time, and I get to do that. And man, I've got to do some incredible things with the hunting industry. A few years back, I got to take an autism boy on a turkey hunt for a hunting video, and and it was actually on Outdoor Channel that year. Then I took a blind boy turkey hunting.
Oh wow!
And we did that, and that was incredible. I mean, it opened my eyes to a lot of things. Just what we're able to do to help other people.
Oh yeah.
And just what's actually possible. When you think a blind boy could ever kill a turkey, but
the little things we take for granted too. Yeah.
Then a couple years after that, I took a boy that had a brain tumor for several years, and he had lost most of his eyesight. And these same people that I did this hunt with, when somebody asked me about taking him deer hunting, I called them and I was like, hey, would you be interested in helping me out with all the apparatuses and stuff that we used?
Oh yeah.
And we took him hunting, and this is kind of one of my testimonies, I guess you'd say, is I took him, and the first thing that morning I had this really good buck come out.
Okay.
And I'm working 2 remote controls, because when I push a button and he pushes a button, it makes the gun go off.
Okay.
And there's like a TV screen there on the scope. Well, I'm trying to video and run the gun at the same time, and I kind of got caught up in all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And we ended up missing.
Oh.
And I knew we missed, but the boy, he insisted we go look to make sure we hit him. So we went and looked.
Yeah.
We was looking around, and I had his hand, and he said, I'm glad we missed. And I was like, why? And I was already, shame on me, I was mad at that time,
Well.
And he said, I don't want to quit hunting with you
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
And it was like, bam, that was my reality check of, we're not out here to shoot a big buck.
Yeah.
We're out here to enjoy that.
The experience, how fortunate we are to have it. Yeah.
I've kind of lived off of that ever since then. So.
Very cool, yeah.
So that's some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, that's kind of how I
Okay.
got started.
Okay. And then segue that into how you've gotten into more pack hunting and learn about packs and styles and fit and utilizing to help your hunting style.
Well, I think it goes back to turkey hunting. I've always been one that carried a turkey vest, and I used to have my buddies make fun of me, like, dude, you take more stuff with you than when we go camping on a turkey hunt. But I've always felt more organized, more equipped when I had all that stuff with me. Well, then I started deer hunting, Well, a year ago, the first of the year, I got on this health kick. Me and my wife decided we were going to try to get healthy. At that time, I was way overweight. And my goal, I said, I want to lose 50 pounds from January 1st to the first day of deer season, which is in September 15th in Missouri, where I'm from.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and by turkey season, which is in mid-April, I'd already lost 50 pounds.
Wow.
And
that's awesome.
It was coming off really easy, and man, I had this huge drive then for turkey hunting because I could do more up and down hills, and I just felt like I had that drive behind me, to hunt harder.
Yeah.
So that it kind of incorporated that same way into deer hunting. There's been a lot of places over the last few years that I want to go to, but I was just always like, dude, that's so hard to get to, and
it's a long ways.
I would die if I went down there,
Yeah.
And now, over the last summer, and I've always packed a backpack with me, hiking and working out and stuff up and down the football bleachers and stuff.
There you go.
Taking that backpack with me and just trying to get in shape for hunting. Well, then as season got here, I realized, this is going to be a huge advantage of packing that backpack up and going places that other people don't.
Absolutely,
and, I've always heard that with public land a lot. Public land guys say, let's go where everybody else is not. Well, that same thing you can do on private land.
Yep.
Just go to those places that, like me, I was intimidated to go to. There's big bucks there.
Right.
Because they know that. So
right, exactly.
That's what I've started doing is I just pack that backpack up. I throw some water in there and my binoculars and everything that I need, strap my bow on the back, and take off.
Okay.
And it's amazing what over the last year has done because I embrace that challenge now and that opportunity.
Yeah.
And there's huge benefits to it, man. You get back there and you can find trails and find deer sign that you're like, oh my gosh, you can tell they're living here.
Exactly.
And that's why, because they don't ever get no pressure.
Exactly.
There's nothing that. So that's kind of what got me into.
Okay. Yeah, this is right in my wheelhouse because I'm in the same boat. Like I've been hunting like mobile since I was 14, 15, 16, just strike out on my own. Whether you said it works on private land too, getting away from roads, parking spots, or just wherever everyone else is, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Same with public land, and my friends do the same thing, whether I'm duck hunting or turkey hunting or deer hunting. Like, I have a heavy backpack because it's like I want to be comfortable, and I sweat a lot, so I carry my extra clothes with me, put it on when I get out there. I like snacks, got to have a soda or something, and it does make a difference. You can literally find pockets of unpressured deer on public and even private land, so it absolutely makes a difference.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've laughed at myself over the last couple of years too. Because going on a health kick like that, you have to change your complete lifestyle.
Yes.
And used to, my backpack was full of snack cakes and, and stuff. Now I have water and maybe a protein bar.
Yep.
It's like totally different. But man, it just like gives you that drive and makes you. It's almost like there's a song playing when I put the backpack on and take off. I just has that advantage, and
you get pumped up,
huge.
And you feel it's like you don't have to be an athlete to be able to do it, but it gives you that confidence, like, yes, I can do this, and any little bit of confidence helps, not even your confidence going into a new spot, that okay, this can work, and if it doesn't, I'll find another spot, but also it leads into your shooting, your bow shooting, your rifle shooting, just knowing there's deer around.
Right.
That's just building confidence is a huge part of it.
Well, here it's funny. Just 2 weekends ago, I got this crossbow to use, and I was like, man, I don't want to wait till turkey season. I want to try to go deer hunting with it one more time, before our season ended. So I had an antlerless tag, so I went out and went to the place where there's pretty steep hills and stuff, and I ended up shooting one at 9 yards. Well, sure enough, it run over the hill, and like I say, I embrace those opportunities, but you get to question yourself.
Yeah.
I still have that, no, don't run that way,
Yeah.
Well, I just waited, 20, 30 minutes and started tracking, and I come up over the hill, and she stood up and stumbled all the way to the bottom.
Oh.
I'm like, no. And so I waited 10 or 15 more minutes, and followed the blood trail. Sure enough, she was in a creek down there. And that's what I kind of thought, okay, here we go.
There we go. Here's the test.
Let's see how good this is.
Yeah.
And I called a good buddy of mine that's helped me drag a couple out of those bottoms in years past. And me and him hooked onto it, took off up the hill, and I think we only stopped twice. And it's literally like a river bluff. I'm in river country in southern Missouri where it's steep. And even when we got to the top, he's like, dude, we stopped like 10 times last time we did this, and we went right up. And it gives you that self-satisfaction.
Yeah.
It makes you proud.
It makes a difference.
Man, that's all that work's paying off, And
absolutely.
And it's got to be better for your daily life too,
Oh yeah.
You feel better. I do. I've got a ton more energy, and like I said, that drive is there.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah.
Deer Talk Now is brought to you by Moultrie Mobile. The all-new feed hub from Moultrie Mobile is a remote game feed manager that's compatible with all major feeders. Remotely check feed levels, schedule feeding times, and instantly dispense feed directly from the Moultrie Mobile app. For more information, go to moultriemobile.com.
Since you've been able to become more mobile and get into those hardcore places, what are you starting to look for when you're using a pack, or how do you adjust it, for the best comfort, depending on what you're carrying, time of season, that kind of thing?
Well, like I've used a backpack like hiking all summer long, and that's the way it is. I've got a 6-year or a 5-year-old boy, he'll be 6, and my wife, they're both into it just as much as I am, and we'll pack a few snacks in there and drinks, and I've got a couple other little things that we'll need. We take a Bible with us. We always read a Bible verse when we get to the top of a lookout point or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
But having that backpack on all summer, I've kind of felt what's comfortable, and that's kind of what I did with my hunting backpacks. I've kind of tried to go off that same style. I like a wide strap on there that I can cinch down, tighten up really easy when I'm taking off.
Okay.
Something that I can take off easy. If you see something you want to take off and get your binoculars out or something, if I don't have them on my harness, it's easy to get off, easy to put on. And I like something that's really organized. Like I said, going back to turkey hunting, that's what I like so much about turkey vests, is it kept everything organized.
Yeah, lots of pockets.
So I like to make sure there's lots of pockets inside there, and I'm real focused on everything being in where it goes, And my binoculars are in a certain spot, my grunt call, my scents, field dressing stuff I keep in there a lot. That's big, because you get back to where you're deer hunting, you go way back in there. After you do make the harvest, you don't want to have to go all the way back out to grab a knife.
Fewer trips, the better. Yeah.
So take all that with me. I've got some gloves that go up to my arms, where I can just peel them off and put them in a bag, stick them in the backpack, and go on. Then again, water, snacks, different things like that. But yeah, just having everything organized, I think, is the biggest key.
Yeah, staying efficient, especially when you're fumbling around in the dark, so you're not searching around for everything, right where it is at, each, especially like you said, your grunt call, your binoculars, snacks.
Even like if I backpack into a tree stand, and I'm getting real close to trying this tree saddle thing, because that was always an intimidation too. I didn't want to get up there when I weighed too much, and now I think that's going to be my next goal this year.
Yeah, go for it.
Get in it,
Yeah.
But with that, I take my backpack to a tree stand. Even when I get up there, I like to hang it up right behind me, and I want everything where I can turn around, reach in, and get it without having to fumble around.
All right.
Because how many times you drop gloves, you release, and different things, because you're not organized.
You got to climb back down. Yep.
So I like that too. I like to have that right there beside me in the tree.
Okay. I've seen there's a bunch of new. I think Alps has a couple, and a few others where the front panel actually opens and it turns into a shelf. It's got a support, so you can actually open it, and everything is right there. It doesn't have to fall out, because it's got like mesh pockets.
Yep.
Just slide it in.
That's another thing too. I use the Alps one a lot too, and the unzip there, that front, is where I keep like hand warmers, gloves, little things that I know I'm going to be using in the tree stand that's easy to get to. Yeah. Then my other stuff, that I know probably won't use in the stand, that's what's in deeper down in the backpack.
Yep.
Try to remember that too, how you pack your bag, of where you're going to be using it and how you're going to be using it, and easy to get to.
Yeah, and it all comes with practice. Like once I've noticed, first couple sits of the year, I am a hot mess. Like, I don't know where anything is. Like, I'm fumbling around. But just like with anything, it takes you a few warm-ups, and then it's like, okay, I know right where everything is each time. Bam, bam, got it, done. How about have you learned a little bit more about like the fit? Like you said, you like to wear your pack straps nice and tight and snug. How about like your waist belt, hip belt placement?
Same way with it. I like to have it tight. I don't like anything loose. I don't like anything hanging down. So I'm real big about, I'll have my wife help me adjust everything at the house before I leave. I want it perfect.
Yep.
And that's something too, is try on what you're going to be deer hunting in and put that backpack on and adjust everything. If you're adjusting everything with your shorts and a t-shirt on, when you get a bunch of clothes on, it's going to be too tight.
It's a different story, yeah.
So kind of do that. That's what I do too, is get all them straps where then if there's anything over hanging, I'll roll that up neatly and put that where it's not going to be tangled up or
make a noise.
Safety wise too, climbing in a tree stand or something, I don't want to be stepping on it or
absolutely, yeah.
And you like you said, noise.
Noise
is a big deal.
Big part of it, yeah. I've noticed too, like and I've read a few things, talked to a few people, like a lot of the packs now have really nice hip belts and even adjustable shoulder straps on the top. And it's everyone's a little bit different, but the higher up you can have it, so it's not like dragging down on your butt or down on your hips, but you actually, and maybe I might be wrong, but for me it seems more comfortable if you got it up a little higher on your back, and those hip belts are not actually down on your belt. They're up on like your hip bones up here, and that actually gives you a little more support, and then you can fine-tune it with the straps coming from the pack to the straps.
Well, like a lot of those straps look like a back brace, and that's kind of the same concept there, to have it where it's supporting everything.
Yep.
And I'm the same way. I like it up high. I like it hanging up in between my shoulder blades is where I like it, instead of down lower. I've noticed, I've even done that where I take some photos or look back on some of my photos and like, man, that thing's hanging way down there.
Yeah.
No wonder I was feeling like this walking,
Absolutely,
so I'll adjust it where it is up higher. And I like to, like, having my bow on there. I like where I can reach back and undo that strap with my bow if I needed to, like if you're walking up and there's a good buck standing there, you don't have time to take off that backpack. And
right, you want it easily accessible.
Be able to reach back there and get that bow off. And that's something, practice that every now and then too, put your bow on there and reach back there and get it off.
Yeah, and that's another good thing too. If you're, especially like you said, you hunt hill country, like rugged ridges and stuff where you want both hands accessible, you're going to want a pack that's got a good secure bow or rifle scabbard on the back.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to worry, your sights aren't going to be off, but you can still be free-handed.
I look too on a lot of the backpacks I look at now. I want to make sure there's like a waterproof thing that goes over them,
Yeah, nice rain cover.
Yeah, rain cover is good. Just keep that dry, and also like your bow or your gun, cover your scope up or cover your sights up if it's sprinkling, or maybe snowing or whatever. That's awesome to have that too. So
absolutely,
that's a big feature that we don't think about a lot.
Yeah. How about, so you said you work with Alps a little bit and you like their stuff. What are maybe one or two packs that you use of theirs specifically for different times of the season or different hunts?
Well, like I said, hiking, I use that EDC Everyday Carry Pack.
Okay.
I really like that, and the straps on that is where, when I started looking what backpack do I want to bow hunt with, that's what I went off of. And the Pursuit pack is the one I like the best.
Okay, I've got one too. Yeah, it's good all around.
It seems like it holds the bow good. It holds it secure, and again, it's got so many pockets inside that it keeps it really secure.
Yeah, there's
I like it a lot.
A spot for everything. Yeah.
So those are my two favorite, but I'm always willing to try something different. I've got 3 or 4. I've got a smaller one, but I can't think of the name of it. But it's the small mossy oak one. It's a good tree stand one just because it's not so big,
yeah.
If you're just going to your stand, getting up there, and that's it. That would probably be something go a little smaller.
Okay, yeah, like early
when
season.
I'm backpacking in, like we was talking, a little farther, I want a bigger pack. I want to take more stuff with me.
Yeah, especially when you're packing heavy clothes. You got a long walk. You want to layer up when you get out there.
Yeah,
that's a huge
that Pursuit
part
pack
of it.
is good because you can pack all your gear, plus, like you said, maybe a rain jacket or an extra insulated one that you don't want to walk in because it'd be burning up by the time you get there. But
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's good too.
Okay, so with this past deer season, with your your new found endurance, and after you've gotten in a little better shape, and it sounds like you found some good spots kind of off the beaten path. What would be the most exciting or craziest or memorable story that you could think of from this newfound ability to get back in the sticks, if you could think of one thing that really sticks out, like a crazy wild thing that maybe wouldn't have happened before you got into this?
A couple years ago, 2021, I shot a decent buck with my bow in this one certain area, and sure enough, it ran all the way to the bottom. And that's when I was telling you, I called that buddy of mine, and he come and helped me drag it out. And man, that was so hard getting that out of there. And I can remember.
And he's like, "Don't ever call me again."
Yes, and I remember myself thinking and that's what's bad is I thought to myself, God, I'm never hunting here again. I do not want to do that again.
Yep.
And then this year, hunting in that same area and shooting a deer and it going in that same spot, it's like it's a totally different area, even though it's the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to backpack down in there where I once said I will never go there again.
Yeah.
And now I hunt down in there and going in and out of that same area that was so hard before.
Okay.
I think that's kind of my proudest moment.
Okay.
But actually, harvest-wise, this year I shot several antlerless does, but I never could find that big mature buck.
That's all right.
I did
Some
have
seasons
one.
are like that.
I had one close encounter though in
Okay.
October, and it was the same way. I had backpacked down in and found this good area in August.
Okay.
And I had this really good buck on camera, and he kind of disappeared right there at the end of August, 1st of September, like they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
And I never hunted that stand until like October 15th, somewhere right in there.
Okay.
And I got in like 2 o'clock that day, got sit down, hung my backpack up, and it wasn't 20 minutes, and I looked over, and there was that buck I had not seen.
Yeah?
I had not seen him since August.
All right, sorry, did you pack a stand in with you, or were you hunting on the ground? Or?
No, I had a ladder stand there.
Oh, okay.
That we had actually hung in August just for him.
Nice.
Then after he disappeared, I kind of just, oh well, I'm not going there, you know.
Yeah.
But I had that feeling, go in there.
Yeah, try it out.
So I went in, and sure enough, there he was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I realized what buck it was immediately.
Yeah.
And he was walking right at me. I had him at 12 yards.
Oh, no.
Full draw, waiting for him to move into past a limb there that was hanging.
Okay.
And I guess I flinched a little bit, and my thumb release went off and shot 5 yards in front of him. I felt like crying.
Did you just take off, spooked him?
Yeah, it happens.
It does, yeah.
But man, I watched him run 40 yards and stay in there for like 10 minutes too, but he was in thick cover and I couldn't shoot. And I just sat there and was like, why, you know? But
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe next year he'll be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, if it's a good spot, like you said, he's there for a reason. It's obviously a good spot that doesn't get pressured much. Nobody else is going down there. And in a way, it's like you said, you did it all right. Like you beat him because he slipped up enough that you could have killed him. He was right there, and it's just one little
I did my job except for making the harvest.
So it's like, in a way, it
is satisfactory.
It's still very satisfactory, almost a victory right there, and just one little thing. Another bounce could have gone your way, so that's absolutely a good story.
And that's one good thing, and that's another advantage of backpacking in is I have that, like stands like that you're saving, you know.
Yes.
I can put them in areas that's hard to get to.
Yeah.
Because like this one property that I hunt, all through the first part of bow season, it's usually just me hunting.
Okay.
But then when firearm season happens in mid-November, there's about 10 other people that come into the same place. That's when I go where they don't.
Exactly.
You know? And I get away from them, and it just seems like it's better, you know, because it's a whole new hunting down in there.
Absolutely.
You know, the deer that's been up here where they're at is going in them places that's hard to get to.
Exactly.
And they think nobody's being there. So
yep.
That's kind of that advantage I've had too, is seeing all those deer that, you know, in years past you're like, man, what have I missed?
Right.
During those times when you're like, man, deer aren't moving up here now. That's where they're at.
Exactly. They're moving somewhere, just not here. Yeah.
They're still there.
And there's nobody crazy enough like me to get down there.
Yep, so exactly. And that's the mind frame you have to have is
absolutely
embrace it and go for it, you know?
Yeah.
Go. Why not?
Yeah, what have you got to lose? Yeah.
Challenge yourself a little bit because I know maybe next year dragging that big one up that hill is going to be like, yeah.
It'll be worth it.
I did it.
It'll be moments to be like, what am I doing here?
Yep.
But then at the end of it, yeah, it's all worth it.
Just like that doe I shot, when I first seen it, I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, wait a minute. This is going to be my challenge.
Exactly, yeah.
It was great.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I suppose we should wrap it up. Heath, for Heath Wood and Deer Hunting, we're going to, I guess, call it a day for the Deer Talk Now podcast. And stay tuned every week. We have them on YouTube, social media, Facebook, Instagram. Wherever you find Deer and Deer Hunting, you'll find a podcast. So, again, Heath, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you
talking some backpack hunting, and we'll see you next time.